Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes, all the product I'm using and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. There is a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. There is my email address if you have any questions or would like to find out about in-person classes if you live in the Portland, Vancouver metro area. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe and help me grow in YouTube world. As you can see, I have nothing in front of me today. Today, we're going to make a Christmas gift. And this is what our gift looks like. And you're saying, oh, well, it's a box. Yeah, it's a box. But there's some special things in this box. So I'm going to show you in a minute. I want to tell you what I've used on this. I have used some retired pool party ribbon. I've used pool party cardstock on this, and this is some paper that has retired, but is still available in the Last Chance store. It's called Cute as Can Be, so it is still available. And in the box, this is just a little bow to hold it all together. And in the box, and I've made it so it is a rather snug fit, but we don't want it loose. I'm going to open it up. And in here is cards. And you've probably seen these cards. I've made them on air. There is a brand new, you can see it still got the little tip on the end of it, Unibob pin. And I believe there's about 10 cards, but some of these are fun folds. So they're a little thicker, you know. We got those fun folds in here. So they take up a little more space than a regular card. You got some bulky ones in here. But I've got 10 in here. If you didn't have fun folds or bulky cards, you probably could get 12. But these are just cards I've made. I'm not going to unload them all. So that's that part of it. And the pin sits in here like that. But what is nice about this is a little mini stationery that you could give to somebody, because on the inside of the lid, we have some little pockets. The first little pocket here is one that holds some Post-its. It holds a half a pack of 3x3. And this one here is a little lid that lifts up like this. And in this one, you could put postage in there. So you're going to give somebody some cards, little stationery, and put some postage stamps in there for them. And that hooks in just like that. So I've made a bigger stationery kit before, but this is a little mini one. And it closes, and then we'll tie the bow back up around it, and it's almost ready to go. And why I say that is we want to make sure we do these in papers that they could use year-round, nothing that's Christmassy. But I can't just give this to somebody like this on Christmas. So next week, I'm going to design a bag that this will fit in so you can give it as a gift. I haven't designed it yet, so you'll have to wait and turn in next Monday. See what I come up with. So let me put that away. Now, today we're going to be using a different paper. It's also on the Last Chance list, and it's called Storybook Moments. And we're going to be using, because I really love this paper so much, I wanted to make one out of the strawberries. So that is what we're going to be using for our box today. But you use what you have. If you want these two, they, like I said, are still available. I checked this morning. They were both still available, and I believe they both were $8.75 in the U.S. Don't quote me on that, but close to $8.75, okay? So, to start with, I'm going to be using Real Red this time. And you're going to need 4 pieces of Real Red. You're going to need one that is 10 by 8.5. You're going to need one that is 9 by 7.5. You're going to need one that is 8 by 3.5, and one that is 7.5 by 3 1/8. Now I'm going to go ahead and score all these, and all the scoring, all the measurements. Don't worry if I talk too fast. All of them are going to be in there for you. So this is the base. And what we're going to do on this is we're going to score this at 2 inches on all 4 sides. Now you could do the scoring on your scoreboard if you, or on your paper trimmer if you want, but I do like using this. And don't go too fast that you slide off. So that is, hang on, I didn't get clear down. I'm having a bad time staying in the track today. Let's do this again. Stay inside the track. That won't make any difference. I'll show you why in a minute. But try to stay in the track. Now this is the lid that is 9 by 7.5. And I've talked about pulling out slightly from here so you have just a tiny gap, which is about 2 thicknesses of cardstock that you want here. So you could do that way, but I've just learned it's in between this mark here. Oh, let's get this down here so you can see it. This mark here and this one here, the 6 there, it's like right in the middle of that. And what we're doing is pull that out just ever so slightly, just a hair, and we are going to score at 1.5 on all 4 sides. So pull it over, get it lined up, and then just nudge it over just slightly, 1.5. Pulling out just slightly. I find this to be the easiest way to make some boxes without having funky measurements. And then finally, our little pieces here. This is the 8 by 3.5. And this is the piece that's going to make our little box. So we're going to put this in here on the 3.5 inch side, and we're going to score at it 1/2 inch. And 3 inches. Then we're going to rotate this. So we're on the 8 inch side now. And we are going to be scoring this at 2 inches, 2.5, 5.5, and 6. Pretty simple. Now this is the piece that is 7.5 by 3 1/8. On the 7.5 inch side, we are going to be scoring this at 1 3/4. Look at my measurements, 2. Make sure I don't give them the wrong ones. 5 and 5 1/4. I have to look because I just came up with all these measurements yesterday. Now I want to look at this one more time. Make sure I didn't. Yeah, I wanted to look at that. I'm off on my scoring on this. This is the one I was having, I skipped. And you're going to excuse me. I'm not going to waste that paper. I'll use it on something else. But we're going to start over on that one piece, because I won't be happy with it. If I'm not happy with it, that's not a good thing. So I'm going to grab my trimmer real fast. Because if you do come off and you skip, and I skipped at an angle is what happened, and it's just not going to work very well. It's just a piece of paper, and I can still use all those little pieces inside all those squares. So we need a piece that is 10 by 8.5. Like I said, it's you could, you know, try to straighten and stuff if you wanted, but I'm not into that. So there's our 10 by 8.5. And let's do this again and go a little slower. I'm doing that at 2 inches again. Sorry about that, but I'm actually going to use this gift, and I don't want it to look bad because it is a Christmas gift for somebody. There we go. Now we're done with this. So let's start with this base here. I'm going to go ahead and burnish it. We're going to go ahead and burnish all the pieces. You want to make sure you get a nice burnish on everything. I'm trying to hurry, and I shouldn't try to hurry, because if I hurry, I'll make a mistake, like I did. So we're just going to grab all of these and do this. If you ever are doing this and after you scored and you're going, what side should I fold towards? Okay, this is the piece where it goes indentation. That's where you scored it. So you fold, and this leaves a bump on this side, so always fold towards the bump. Now, occasionally we do fold against it, but for the most part, you always fold towards the bump. That's going to give you the best crease because the fibers have been broken down in the paper. Okay, we'll come back to the two smaller ones later. We're going to treat these two pieces exactly the same. Just one moment. Grab some scissors here. Let's see how these do. What I want to do is cut straight up that score line, but I don't want to leave the score line. I want it just to that side, and then I'm going to take a little teeny wedge. And on this side, I'm going to take a little wedge. Just like that. And this side. And flip it around. And this way. But yeah, I think this is a great gift to somebody. I mean, I'm sure you have many people that just love your cards, but they don't want to make their own. So giving them a gift of your homemade cards is always a nice one. I think you can put a variety of cards, you know, for all occasions in there. So that's the base. Now we're going to do this one exactly the same. I think I may switch to my snips though on this one. It's a little easier on my hand. We're doing the exact same thing. And this side too. You can use bigger scissors, but I do like using my snips for this. Okay, so let's go back to our base now. There's not going to be any DSP on this base, so we can glue it all together. You could use Seal Plus or tear and tape if you want, but I do like using glue for this. And bring that up and make sure you've got a nice 90-degree angle here. And hold it just for a second. And same thing here. And then we'll come over and do this side. And this one. Bring that up for a nice 90-degree angle. So basically it's flush. And this one. Just like that. Okay, that's the base of our box. It's all done. Now we're going to do this one. But I want to put DSP on this, and I prefer to put DSP on before I fold it up. So I have already cut all the DSP for this. Let me move some of this out of my way. I can grab the right pieces. Okay, we're going to need 2 pieces. Now, if you noticed on the first one I made, I'm going to bring that back out and show you. Just one moment. I put it away and I shouldn't have. Okay, this one I used all the same on the outside, but if you look on the inside, this one I used the jar paper back here, and then I used a smaller print here. So I used 3 different types of paper on this one. This one, I'm only using 1. So you could use 2, you could use 3, you could use whatever you wanted. You could make this one color and the lid another color. It's up to you. But anyhow, I have cut 2 pieces that are 4 by 3 1/8. And let's start this over. 4 3/8 by 5 7 1/8. Like I said, all the dimensions are on there. This is for here and 1 for the inside. I just didn't want all red in the background. That's why I'm doing that. And then you're also going to need 2 other pieces. You need 2 pieces that are 1 3/8 by 5 7/8. Those are for the sides. And the other 2 sides are 1 3/8 by 4 3/8. Like I said, all these dimensions will be listed. And if your paper is directional, you'll need to look at that. These strawberries really aren't that directional, so that's one of the reasons I picked it. And I also like it. I thought it was a very nice pattern to be used all year round. Because you want this to be something they can just pull out and sit down wherever they want and write out some cards. And we'll just go right around and put all these pieces in. Just like this. Like I said, this is not a hard thing to make. Probably the most time-consuming part is making all the cards to go in, unless you happen to have a whole bunch already made, which I happen to have. And if you're wanting a bigger stationery box that has more components and it's bigger, it's a totally different shape, go look at my video 372. I did it about 7 months ago, I think. I made a larger stationery box. This is a small one. So that's all the pieces on, just like that. So let's go ahead and put this one here in the center. Just like that. And then we'll do our corners. And make sure, once again, we have our nice 90-degree angles. And this one. And this one. Now, let this sit and dry before you try to put the top and the bottom together. It only takes a minute or 2, but let it dry. So there's the lid to our box. I think it's very pretty. So we're going to set all these off to the side and let them just sit and dry while we work on the next 2 elements. And I have a sip of tea. Oh, I think we'll do the Post-it one first. We have a couple little score lines to fold and burnish here. Okay, and when you look at this, you're going to see that one is bigger than the other. The big one goes on the bottom and the little one goes on top. But what you need is a half a pack of Post-its. Now this is a pack, this is three by threes. Just a guesstimate where about a half is. Pull it apart. If it's the back, pull off the back tab. And we're going to go ahead and put this at the top. This is the sticky part. And it sits right in there. Just like that. And folds up just like that. If it won't stay where you want, put some little tape at the bottom, but it should. So we're going to fold these up just like that. Okay? But that's sort of boring. Okay? So we've got some paper. I have two pieces. They're both 3 inches wide. One is 1 5/8, and the other one is 2 1/8. So we're going to use those two pieces, and I'm going to be using magnets. If you are giving this to somebody who has a heart pacemaker, or if it's somebody who has lots of very small children, you may want to use Velcro dots. These things are very strong. Oh, and the problem is I have a steel case desk I'm working on too. So just a moment, I just have to slide these off the desk, literally. Can you see them here? They're standing straight up because I'm on a steel desk. But once you do get them, I'm on the glass mat now. Pull them apart and set them. I'm not putting these away yet because I do need a couple more. So what I need to do first is I want to set this like this, and I want to sort of look under here. I don't have this sitting in here straight. Hang on. This does need to be setting in here straight, so there we are. So you're closed straight. So what I'm looking at is the overlap here. I try to want to get right in the center of this overlap here. So I'm going to put the top one on first, and I'm going to use glue dots. There it is. Looking for something to grab a glue dot with. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to set this on my grid here. So I can sort of see where center is. And look on the side here that I'm still right about there. And I'm going to take one of my, okay, let's start over. I have a glue dot stuck to my hand. Let's try this again. I'll go ahead and pick up this with the glue dot. Line this back up here. And placement is important because you don't want it too close to the edge, but you don't want it where it's off the back side here. So right about there. Then I'm going to grab another glue dot and put it on the top of this like that. And then I'm going to grab the small piece, which is the 3 by 1 5/8. And going back to glue. Okay. The reason I put the glue dot there is the glue won't stick to the magnet, but the glue dot will. So I'm going to put that right here and line it all up. And then I'm going to press around. There is going to be a little lump there, but it's not bad if you press that around. That is why you put the glue dot where you did. Just holding my finger there, giving a little press. Make sure that glue sets up real good. There. I think we got it. Just like that. No, nothing there. Okay, next we need to put the one on the back, and we need to make sure that they are lined up perfectly. So I'm going to open this, and I'm going to take this other one, and I'm going to drop it. It will find its polar opposite right like that. Then we'll take a glue dot. Try not to pick it up. It's lined up exactly where it needs to be. Magnets are very smart. Push it in and push down. And lift up. And we'll put another glue dot, and we'll do the exact same thing with the next piece of paper, which is the 3 by 2 1/8. And once again, we'll put that piece on. And just like the first one, we'll make sure we got it all in place, and then we'll push around that magnet to make sure that glue sets up. Just hold it for a second. If you're using Velcro dots, then you'd be just putting the Velcro dot on top of the paper here and putting one here. Okay, there's the first piece that's going to go inside our lid. Next piece. Okay, this is the one with lots of score marks on it. I'm going to have one more drink of tea. Yes, I know my throat and voice is getting better, and it's my ears is what's causing the problem. But according to the doctor, it is getting better. So we're going to fold on the long sides first. And you do need to give this a good crease. Make sure it is really creased well. And this one. And then we'll do the sides, inside pieces, I should say. And if you didn't want to put the pocket for the postage, you didn't have to, or you could put it in and use it for paper clips or something else. Okay. Now, unlike, you look at this one, I believe that's 2 inches, and that's 2 inches. Both these ends are exactly the same, okay? But, but we're going to treat each of them different. So let's start at the one we're going to put at the bottom. This is going to be the bottom piece of our box. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut up these score lines here and then wedge in just slightly. So that's like that one there. And then this one will do the exact same. So this is the bottom piece. It's called the bottom of the box. Okay. So that's what it looks like so far. Now, the top piece. What you're going to do is you're going to come across and you're going to cut straight across on, there's 2 score lines. The second one down, you're going to come down and cut straight across. And you're going to do the same thing on this side. Make sure you're cutting off that score line. So we have 2 cuts now, okay? Then what we're going to do is just fold these down, these 2 little pieces now, and you're going to cut straight up to the next score line. Like that. And like that. So we've cut up to those score lines. And you got this little piece hanging out here. What you do want to do with these little pieces is you need to make sure that you trim away any bulk from score lines. But we're just doing little straight cuts. Just like that. So we have no bulk. I don't know if you can see the little bulk right here. We don't want any extra bulk in there. And I got a little bit right here. Okay. So not much trimming. So this is what it looks like now. You have 2 tabs going this way and 2 tabs going this way. And we are going to need 2 more magnets. I will put where I get the magnets. I get them on Amazon. I'll put the size of them in the description below. But yeah, they last quite a long time. I've had these for quite a while. The case does not come with the ones. These are some ones I actually originally got when I was in England, and I had them sent home. So that's where that box came from. So I've just kept it to keep them in. But you can find some little plastic container. I would keep them in plastic, to be honest, and it wrapped up, because they get loose. They stick to everything. They stick to that. Not so much that, but all kinds of stuff they stick to, and they just, not a good thing. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. So we need to put on some magnets, but we also need to put this box together. So this case, we need to put the box together first before we put the paper on. Like I said, I prefer to do it the other way, but you can't on this. So what's going to happen is these are the sides. You're going to come up with this, and these are going to come in, and then this is going to come over the top, so you don't have any seams on the outside. So I'm going to use a combination of glue and glue dots. I'm a big fan of glue dots, especially for little things like this. Whoa. I can't even hang on to a glue dot. So what I want to do is put that on the outside here, just like that. And the outside of this one. Because what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up, make a 90-degree angle right there, like that. And bring this one in, just like that. And then this piece will fold over, just like this, and make our little pocket. And that we'll use glue on. Sorry, I'm a little awkward here with the piece sticking up. So push this down. Make sure everybody's lined up. Make sure we got all of our sides square. And it makes a cute little pocket. Okay, so that's the base of that part. Now, this one's a little bit different. This one, we're going to take this and we're going to turn it in and put it right on this. So you're going to take this tab and glue it on here. So that will give you, when they're both in, make sure I've got everybody right. When you fold it down, it'll close like that. So these are going to fold up, and then they're going to fold and hook on this piece. Me and the glue dots are having a problem today. So I'm going to put one here and one here. So we're putting them on the back side of these tabs, right like that. Then we're going to fold these tabs, and I do one at a time. Fold it in and make sure that you're right at the edge and you got a nice 90-degree angle there. And then do the same with this one. And then it should all fold over and close like that. Now, it's got a little thing it wants to open up, and that's why you have a magnet. So, we're going to do the same thing as we did at the last one, except we have nothing in there, so it makes it a little awkward. I've been looking around for something to stick in there, and I haven't really found anything. But once again, you need to look and sort of see where you're ending up here. So I know the end of the box is there, so I want to go about this area right here. So once again, I'm looking in here, trying to measure what I've got here. Hang on. Come back up here now so you can see it. So right about there. And I'm going to grab one of the dots here. just like that, and push that one in place, okay? And we have 2 pieces of paper. And these are both exactly the same. They're 2 by 2 3/8 by 1 7/8. And one's going here, and then one will go on the bottom piece. And if you didn't want to put one on the bottom, you didn't, but it really does cover up the glue dots. I mean, the magnets. Yeah, just like the last one. Now, the lid we can pick up and do this very easily and manipulate it in our hands. It's the base that's a little harder because we don't have anything in there, and I've been still looking around to find something the right height. I just haven't found it that's small enough to go in there. Post-its are too big, so I kept on looking, but I'll show you we can do it without it. So there's the top. So now once, like we did the last time, this is going to open up and only open up that far. This time we're going to go ahead and on the inside piece here, we're going to drop, put the magnet where it needs to go. Get another glue dot and put it right here. Like that. And then you're going to push this together. Now, you're going to have to push and you're going to actually flattening it slightly. But you just need to do it for a second. It won't hurt anything. To get that glue dot to stick. And then you can stick your finger in there. And then, like I said, if you have something you can get in there that's the right height and won't get stuck in there, go ahead. I couldn't find anything. So, and then this is the same thing, and this time we're just going to leave it open and use my fingers around that glue dot, make sure it's all level. Just takes a little ingenuity, a little time. And there is the postage box. I thought giving some postage when you gave a nice gift like this would be a nice offer. Okay, now it's time to put these pieces in. So, there is not a ton of room in here. I've offset mine a little bit. Now I set the other one, if I'm not mistaken, I set this one up close up here last time, and I decided that I wanted to move it down this time and put the Post-its up this way because it gives you a little more clearance here. So, you don't have a ton of space there. You're right at the edge over here, and you're right there. And I'm just going to use some glue. But I think this is a really nice gift to give to somebody. It's not an overly expensive gift. I mean, that's why I said you put a little postage in there. That would be nice. But it comes from the heart. And I'm sure whoever received this would be very happy to receive it. Just holding that for a second. And a glue on the back of this one. And this part I would use glue because you really don't want this to come off. And make sure you're over far enough that you left enough room for that lid to open and close. Now I have to hold it there for a second. Don't go right up to the edges or the box won't close. You gotta leave a little gap here, like I've done here. But then this opens up like that. And this one opens up like that. And then the ballpoint pin, of course, goes in. So that's all the pieces. And then we put our lid on. Nice. Now I'm not stuffing this one full of cards yet, but you know, you've seen one with it. And then we're going to put some nice ribbon on it. And I've just grabbed the real red shiny ribbon. Take a big enough piece I can tie a nice bow. this is a nice project because I know if you're like me, you have lots of different kinds of ribbon that are there and lots of paper, and you can use anything you want. It doesn't have to be what I used. But if you want these two different types of paper, like I said, they're still in the Last Chance store. At the time of filming they were, which you're seeing this on Thursday, and I'm filming this exactly 1 week before. But we're still in there for quite a while. So, but I hear something doesn't sound very good. I'm gonna open my box up. I think I may have not let this sit long enough. Oh, my Post-its fell out. Hang on. This is a good thing for me to show you. The Post-its drop out. It's the sticky on the back of the Post-its. If the Post-it is not sticky enough, guys. I did this on the other one. I should have just showed you. Put some tape on it. Put it back in its spot. Then close it up. Just like that. Except you got to get it lined up right. Put this extra sticky on before you put the Post-it in. There. It'll be much easier. So that's the box with all the good stuff in it. And I'll show you the one. Let me put this back together. Well, you don't need to see me put it back together. I will put it back together with the ribbon in a second. But this is the one that I also finished, and this is the one that has all the cards in it. So, thank you for joining me today. Oh, the other thing I thought would be very nice, especially if you are giving this to an elderly person, is put a little coupon in there for a refill of cards. An elderly woman or man, could be a man, but more likely a woman, would probably love that because that would give them a more chance to write to more of their friends and family. So think about that one too. Anyhow, I will get this back together. I'm going to actually stuff it, and then I'll put the bow back on. So everybody, thank you for joining me. Give this a try. Let me know what you think. Goodbye.